The flooding chamber loomed before Sarah like a massive throat waiting to swallow her whole. Her transformed body trembled with a combination of exhaustion and evolution. The suit had become her skin, the modifications reaching deep into her DNA. Only 12 players remained from the original 456, and as she watched Marcus approach through the murky water, she knew that number would drop further. The chamber itself was a nightmare of industrial architecture gone wrong. Massive pipes lined the walls, many now burst and leaking both water and something darker, a viscous fluid that moved with unsettling purpose. The central arena was circular, ringed by observation windows that revealed the pitch-black ocean beyond. Through her modified vision, Sarah could make out shapes moving in that darkness, failed experiments released into the deep. "Welcome to Kraken's choice," Kane's voice reverberated through the water, but now Sarah could see him clearly through the largest observation window. His transformation was complete, a grotesque hybrid of man and cephalopod, his lab coat hanging in tatters around a body that pulsed with chromatophores. Multiple tentacles operated control panels while others gestured expressively as he spoke. The final test of compatibility, Marcus moved with inhuman grace through the water, his own modifications more extreme than Sarah's. Where her changes had been subtle, his were dramatic. Gills flared wide along his ribcage, his skin a mottled pattern of blues and grays, fingers elongated into deadly talons. "You always were the perfect assistant, Marcus," Kane's voice carried a note of pride. "Infiltrating the games, guiding her progression, ensuring our prime specimen survived." The betrayal hit Sarah like a physical blow. Every shared moment of survival, every whispered strategy, all calculated manipulation. "You helped me save Andrea," she said, her voice distorted by the water and her modified vocal cords. "Was that part of the plan too?" Marcus's laugh was hollow, bubbles streaming from his gills. "We needed to test your empathy levels. Emotional compatibility is as important as genetic." His skin rippled with patterns that Sarah's modified brain recognized as excitement. "Though I admit, watching you tear Chen apart was unexpected. Beautifully violent." The chamber's lights dimmed suddenly, and something massive moved behind Marcus. A Pacific Giant Octopus emerged from a concealed door, but this was no natural specimen. Its flesh was transparent in places, revealing cybernetic modifications beneath. Its eyes held an intelligence that sent shudders through Sarah's remaining human consciousness. "The final test begins now," Kane announced. "Only one candidate can proceed to full integration. Fight, prove your worth. The octopus will ensure there's no hesitation." The creature struck first, its tentacles lashing out with mechanical precision. Sarah dove, her modified reflexes allowing her to twist through the water in ways her human form never could. Marcus attacked from above, his talons raking across her back. The pain triggered something primal in her transformed biology. Her skin erupted in patterns of rage and challenge. They fought through the rising water level, a ballet of violence and evolution. Sarah's newly developed chromatophores flashed threatening patterns, while Marcus's enhanced strength sent her crashing into walls. The octopus herded them, its tentacles forcing confrontation when either tried to retreat. "I can feel it, Sarah," Marcus hissed during a momentary reprieve, blood streaming from multiple wounds. "The next stage of evolution. Kane showed me the tanks. What we're becoming is beautiful." His face split in an impossible grin, revealing rows of hook-like teeth. "Join us willingly. It hurts less." Sarah's response was savage. She charged forward, her own mutations providing unexpected weapons. The tentacle-like strands of her hair whipped out, wrapping around Marcus's throat while her claws found purchase in his modified flesh. They tumbled together through the water, ripping and tearing, their blood mixing with the dark fluid leaking from the pipes. The octopus intervened, its tentacles separating them with mechanical efficiency. But Sarah had glimpsed something during the fight, a pattern of weakness in Marcus's modifications. His enhanced healing factor had created tumorous growths around his major organs, visible through his increasingly transparent skin. She struck with surgical precision, her transformed biology allowing her to sense the weakest points. Her hands, now more weapon than human, plunged into Marcus's chest. His enhanced heart pulsed once in her grip before she tore it free, watching as his body convulsed and sank. Magnificent, Kane's voice held genuine awe. The perfect balance of human intelligence and cephalopod evolution. You've exceeded every expectation, Sarah. Before she could respond, the octopus's tentacles wrapped around her, its touch delivering a powerful sedative. As her consciousness faded, Sarah activated the emergency beacon hidden in her wetsuit, a modification of her own, created during quiet moments between games. The encrypted signal would reach her research assistant, Emily, who had been investigating her disappearance. Kane's laboratory was a cathedral to mutation. Through darkening vision, Sarah saw tanks lining the walls, each containing a different stage of hybrid evolution. Failed experiments floated in preservation fluid, their numbered wetsuits still identifying them as former players. Some were more cephalopod than human, others trapped in grotesque middle stages of transformation. Your DNA is perfect. Kane's voice seemed to come from everywhere as her consciousness slipped away. Together, we'll create a new species. The deep has always been our true home. Humanity was just a temporary evolutionary stage. As darkness took her, Sarah felt movement beneath her skin, something awakening, unfurling, ready to emerge. Her last human thought was a desperate hope that Emily would understand the coordinates hidden in her signal. Then the deep called, and Sarah Chen ceased to exist as anything purely human. In a research facility thousands of miles away, Emily Chen's computer chimed with an incoming signal. The screen displayed a series of coordinates and a single line of text. The deep is waiting. Come find me. The signal repeated endlessly, broadcasting into the endless dark of the ocean depths, calling others to the beginning of a new evolution.